The Holy Mayor. This is how Venerable Giorgio La Pira, mayor of Florence for 2 terms between 1951 and 1965, is remembered. Born in Pozzallo in 1904, a very small town in Sicily, Giorgio La Pira is considered one of the greatest exponents of social Catholicism.
La Pira era convinto che non si potesse fare una buona società.
La Pira was convinced that a good society could not be made if it was not founded on a high spirituality. His first conferences were called the Conferences of Christian Civilization, and in fact, he thought that only Christian spirit could inspire a just society. And for that, it was necessary to bring back a strong spirit of religiosity within a world that at that time was dominated by materialism, the historical materialism of the communist world and the practical materialism of the capitalist world.
Pratico del mondo capitalista.
Raised in a modest Sicilian family, he began his university studies in law in Messina. A little later, he moved to the University of Florence, where he graduated in Roman law in 1926. That's the same university where 8 years later, he obtained the chair of institutions of Roman law. At the same time that he was completing his studies, he deepened in his faith, entering the convent of San Marco in Florence as a Dominican tertiary. He became involved in Florentine Catholic action by initiating the Mass of the Poor, a Eucharistic celebration dedicated to the poor, in which at the end of the celebration, La Pira lingered with them to give both financial and spiritual support.
Alla fine della messa,
At the end of Mass, he would talk with the poor about the problems of the world. He would talk with the poor he had gathered around him, and he would bring down to earth, in a simplified dimension, the problems political statesmen deal with, such as global peace. And he included the poor in that dialogue, because these are problems that concern everyone.
della povera gente.
In 1939, he distanced himself from the fascist regime. He founded the anti-fascist magazine entitled Principles, aimed at defending the value of the human person and freedom of expression. The following year, the totalitarian government suppressed the magazine, and Giorgio La Pira was forced to go into hiding and leave the city. He returned to Florence only at the end of World War II. In 1946, he was elected a deputy at the Constituent Assembly and was called to formulate the basic principles of the Constitution of the Italian Republic.
Proprio questa sua preparazione dottrinale.
This doctrinal preparation of his can be seen in his service to society as a constituent father. That is, one of those who was called to write the Italian Constitution. He made a decisive contribution that you can see in the first 15 articles of the Constitution, which are precisely the ones that speak on the fundamental rights of the dignity of the person.
Quelli appunto fondamentali sul diritto della dignità della persona.
La Pira, in 1952, organized the first international conference for peace and Christian civilization. From it began an activity aimed at promoting lively and profound contacts among political leaders from all countries of the world. La Pira concretized his desire for world peace in 1955, when the mayors of the capitals from around the world signed a pact of friendship and peace in Palazzo Vecchio, the seat of the municipality of Florence.
He has always been committed to the poorest of the poor, as if he was the father of the family of this city, which was his city, Florence. He also always took care of his religious dimension, and this religious dimension informed his relationship with others.
Giorgio La Pira died in Florence on November the 5th, 1977. He's remembered by all as the Holy Mayor. Pope Francis in 2018 declared him venerable, thus concluding the second phase of his cause of canonization that started in 1986.